Hey guys, it's Mark Siebenbecker here. First time in a while since I did a Facebook video where I'm talking about stuff. You know, most of you guys know that I post my videos on YouTube on everything I talk about, rather it's racism, today's society, today's generation, etc., etc. Now, I could say I'm a solid 75% positive and honest about it and everything, but I've been caught in a few lies, so I gotta be careful how I do this. Okay, basically, you guys know that the coronavirus is going on. Well, first off, I want to come up and say that this video is mainly about Trump and racism. I'm going to start off with racism first. You know, lately there's been a lot of heat towards the African American community, and as of a few weeks ago, two older Caucasian males shot and killed this African American jogger that was just minding his business and everything. Nothing happened, and they shot him because of his race. You know, he's black. You know, I hate to put racism in this though, but white folks sometimes are intimidated by black African American men, and some may not want to admit this though, but I'll be probably the first to admit it. Who knows? African American men, African American people sometimes are scared of white folk too, but white folk, Caucasian people, are sometimes pre-exposed to fear of African American people, because you know there's different ways to look at it. Like, if I were to walk into a neighborhood that just had white people and I'm walking around, I'm gonna get stared at. And sometimes they come at, sometimes, to tell you the truth, so not to tell you the truth, the N-word is thrown around. But do I let that bother me? No. That is the only word in the human dictionary that I've heard over the years that never bothered me. It's said to me before, you know, it's just a word. And really, the word nigga does not refer anything to do with a black person. It's just another way of saying, it's not necessarily calling you a dumbass. It's just saying you're uneducated. You're an uneducated person. Someone that's dumb. Someone that's uneducated. You know, and it's just a word that, you know, just comes to mind when people say, "Oh, he's a nigga." He's not. It's not referring to being black. It's just his intelligence is much lower than the average person. Just like saying that autism is the sign of being retarded. It has nothing to do with it. It's just autism is expressed with little expression at all, or none expression at all. But racism is shown in different ways. You can be racist towards someone's age, which is stupid. That doesn't make any sense. It's, you know, it's underlining the fact being that it could be used as, you know, leverage in jobs. African American people sometimes don't get a job right away because they're skin color, but they work somewhat the hardest. In sports, about 85% of the players in the NBA are black. About a good 75 to 60%, maybe higher, 75% of people playing football are black, you know, but both those sports are found by white men, a Caucasian person, you know. Most jobs have integrated bosses. We got a black boss, we got a Puerto Rican boss, we got an Asian boss, we got a white boss, we got, you know, a Colombian boss, whatever you want to slice the cake with. But don't let racism control how you feel. Racism is just something that people just don't really have the time to take in. Racism is a big thing in this country, amongst other things, and we gotta stop it. We gotta let everything about that race, that person, go. It's not that serious. like I walked like about a few months ago. I'll give you a story. I was walking back from the gym. No, this was a couple years ago. Walking back from the gym. No, I was walking to the bus stop, and when I was living in my old neighborhood, at the time, and well, I was walking to the bus stop one day, one morning and everything, and this cop car comes up and pulls in front of me, and so it came out, it was a white lady. She came at me and said, young man, what are you doing here? Do you live here? I said, yeah. I said, why? And she goes, we just found out someone called in this neighborhood 2 streets away from where you're standing at, saying that a young person like yourself was walking around the house and trying to break in. Could we have 3 people that called to break in? I said, ma'am, most of these neighbors in here have known me for a long time. I've been here for almost 10 years. I've never broken anybody's house, never stolen anything from anybody's neighborhood. So I don't know why would you say or think that I'm walking the neighborhood stealing stuff from other people. She goes, well, I just want to make sure it wasn't you. Can I see your ID? And I said, ma'am, now my first impression, it was coming to my mind. I was like, this lady's racist. So I actually came up and said, ma'am, are you saying it because I'm black? And she goes, no, not at all. I said, but I asked her a question. I said, but now this is why I legitly asked her. You legitly asked her. I asked her. I said, is it so? If a person my size that was white walked by here and you saw him, would you stop him? She did not answer that question. So a neighbor that was driving to work that's also white came up to the cop car and asked the cop lady and everything. Sorry, that's why I checked that. I came up and asked the cop lady, young man, and lady, this man lives here, and he has not broken anything. He won't do. He's not the type of person. He's a good kid. So why don't you take your golf car, your cop car, and go bust someone else? And as soon as she gave me back my ID, and said, I'm so sorry, young man. Have a good day. And she drove off. And the neighbor came up and asked, you need a ride? I said, hey, Lauren. The neighbor came up to me and asked me, if you need a ride, let me know. I said, okay. But yeah, like I was saying, racism shown in different ways. You can show it, by size, age, race, religion, sex, whatever. And I don't care about racism. I don't care. I get racial slurs said to me almost every day. Like, oh, this little black kid walks around here with his shirt off and everything, and he's scaring the white folks. Okay, that was an ignorant way of looking at it. People that are racist don't really want to take the time to really study that person. That's why there's so much hate. That's why there's so much confliction. That's why there's so many problems in this world. Sorry, I had to get a little ice cream. Sorry, it's melting, so I got to get it before it melts. But anyway, it's just I just don't really see the point of racism coming around. I've dealt with it. I've had people come up to me and say like, oh well, why you date white girls, not black girls? I'm like, we're not going to go there. I'm not going to go there. All I'm saying is this, if you think for a second that I only date white girls because of that reason, that's not entirely true. I'll date anybody. I'll date any girl I choose and everything. I don't care. But I've had more success with white women than I did with any other race I've been with. And I've been with 3 other races. But anyway, like let's go back to that jogger thing. Something must have happened. He must have said something to those two guys that made him shoot him. But I'm not saying he's innocent. I'm not saying they're innocent either. I'm not saying they're right. And in some neighborhoods, you got people that look at you and think that, why is he here? He don't deserve to be here. He's black. He's never done anything in his life. Well, just about a year ago, right before I moved in his neighborhood, I have an ignorant neighbor that tried to fight me because he was afraid, and the dude was obviously white. He was afraid that when he saw me, he made it his personal mission to come at me in different ways. And I looked at him and told him straight up, I said, and this guy is 6'4", almost 200 some pounds, and he's tall. Not as big as my cousin though, but I have a cousin that's bigger than him though, but that's beside the point. But he came up and got in my face one night and told me that I need to stay off his property. Now me being only 5'7" and a half, 145 pounds, I could have got thrown around like that. But I told the guy up front, I'm not going to fight you. I have no reason to. You need to back off. You know what I'm saying? You know, I want nothing to do with that. But if we took the time, to realize that all this hate is unnecessary. This hate going around, not even between the blacks and the whites, with everybody. We are one nation under God. We have the right to feel how we feel, to feel what we want to feel. But really what we're feeling really is solving the issues in this world. It's not. It's making it more problematic. It's making it more conflicting. And it's just, we got so much hate in this world that it's killing the vibe. It's bringing us down. It's making us feel angry all the time, stressed, anxious, wound up, tired, annoyed, perturbed, unenthusiastic, inconsiderate, apathetic, anything. It's just different ways of looking at it, That's how I see it. But enough of that. Let's go on to Trump. I try not to talk about Trump or anything on social media. I try not to because there's some of my friends, I'm not going to lie, some of my friends voted for him. And because of different political views, I tend not to talk about him because people on my page, some of them on my page, kind of agree with everything he says. The only thing that I'm going to say is, with his attitude towards this whole coronavirus crap, he needs to be careful what he says and how he says it. I don't know if some of you might have saw this earlier today, but he lashed out on an Asian reporter that is an Asian American that moved to the United States at the age of 2 years old, and she felt offended and disrespected by what he said. I'm not going to say what he said and everything. Most of you probably saw it. Most of you probably saw it and everything. Most of you probably saw it. I'm not going to say what it is, though. Most of you probably saw it. And all I'm saying is that was very unprofessional of him. And I can say also that probably it's the reason why he's stressed. He's stressed. He's angry. He's stressed. He's got these doctors out there that are putting him on his you-know-what every time they see those numbers go up about how many people are dying from the coronavirus. And most of the numbers are changed every day. Either numbers go up, the death rate goes up, the cases go up, whether it's in the United States or not. He looks at those numbers and he reads off what he thinks, not what he knows, what he thinks. And those doctors, they've been in the medical field longer than most of us been alive. They've been in the medical field for a long time. And they look at the numbers and they look at what's going on. They're like, okay, why is he twisting this up? This is not entirely true. And that's why some of those doctors are starting to get under Trump's skin. And I can honestly say that, in my personal opinion, Trump needs to be careful what he says and how he says it. Because one thing I learned working at the VA, you work with a bunch of different personalities. And some of the people that I know that I work with voted for Trump. Now, all power to you. That's fine. I don't care. You know? And on my teeth. But anyway, and all my friends that know, well, that all my friends that believe what he said is true. Hey, that's on you. You can think and believe what you want. I'm not here to sympathize otherwise. I'm not trying to improvise the fact that, you know, that maybe he's right. Maybe we need to see this in a different way. Maybe Trump's telling the truth. Maybe Trump is trying to say that, oh, we're in the wrong. We're not going to do this right. All this other stuff. But I can tell you from experience, he's going by what he thinks. And those reporters are the reason why he's getting pissed off. And the lady thought that he's trying to make it a competition to see which country is better at handling the coronavirus. If you look at the death toll in the country in the last several weeks, you can see a drastic change. You can see a drastic change in what's going on. And what's going on here. There's a lot of stuff going on. It's just stuff that needs to get fixed. You know, we're in serious debt, and look at this. Now they're trying to propose a $5,000 stimulus check bill that covers us for the next 6 months to a year, and by the time all this crap happens, it goes into law and it gets signed for. This country ain't gonna have no money left. But honestly, I'm going on a limb here by saying this though, but I'm all for it. Because if you got your stimulus check that was worth $1,200, to me, that's not cutting it. It's not cutting it. Some of us are in debt right now, despite the fact that some of us are fighting to keep food on the table. I have friends of mine that are out of work right now that are dying for money they need. And they need money for the family. I have a few of my friends that just recently had kids, just not even a week and a half ago, and they're unemployed, and they're sitting at home. They're sitting at home watching TV and not able to do anything for work. So maybe sometimes, if it's possible, I'm all for it. But we'll see what happens. We will know more about it after Friday. They're going to vote on the bill on Friday. And hopefully something good comes out of it. Because a lot of us need these bills paid off. We need to be financially set. And $5,000, which is a long shot, I don't think... I mean, I'm all for it, but I really don't think that's going to happen. I say the $2,000 one may happen. I can say that, but... other than that, I really personally think that's not going to happen. But pray to God, and hopefully it does. Alright, I took enough of your time. You guys have a good night. Thanks for watching, and you guys have a good night. I may do another one pretty soon.